Happy holidays, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of The Dark Room, where two blind cinephiles illuminate the sighted. I'm Lee Pugsley,
I'm Alex Howard.
and this is a podcast hosted by two legally blind guys for film lovers of all abilities. And it's crazy to think that this year is almost over, and we are very much in the height of the holiday season. So we thought it would be fun this year to do a little warm and cozy holiday episode. In the years that we've been doing this podcast, we realized that we hadn't ever done one of these. So it's going to be fun just to talk about the holidays a little bit and celebrate the holiday season in the different ways that we celebrate it. So, Alex, to begin with, I'll throw it over to you. What does the holiday season mean to you? And do you have any favorite holiday memories?
So, being Jewish, obviously, I don't celebrate Christmas, I celebrate Hanukkah. And I really like the vibe of the holiday season, just like out and about. I love everything's cheery, everything's like sweater weather, warm, everyone's kind of in a good mood. I just like the vibe of it. It's like my holiday is at a different time sometimes, and sometimes at the same time. So it's like, and sometimes it's in November. So, sometimes I'm done with my holiday by the time the holiday season's still going. But I kind of just like the vibe of everything anyway.
I totally connect with that. I love the hustle and bustle of everyone shopping, the festive decorations, and the lights. And I was thinking about this the other day. And I think one of the reasons I really like Christmas lights or holiday themed lights is because they're bright. And so I'm able to see them more clearly. And anything that has bright illumination is always really exciting to me. And also for visual reasons, helps me enjoy the full effect more.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, I never thought about it before. Yeah, I can see that. And I definitely agree with you. Although this year I felt like I went to the LA Zoo lights and some of them gave me a little bit of a migraine because sometimes the blue light triggers me. It hasn't happened before this year, but this year has been a little bit more sensitive. But usually, yes, I really like all the lights and stuff.
And I also like the spirit that people have around the holiday season. It just seems like people are more kind, generous, and giving. And not to say that people aren't like that the rest of the year, but it almost seems like there's more of an intentional focus on let's really think about what the holiday season means and let's do our best to celebrate that and to give to other people and think beyond just ourselves. And I really appreciate that about the holiday season too.
Oh yeah, I definitely agree. There seems to just be like a pep in everyone's step.
100%. Now, do you have any favorite holiday memories from Hanukkah, or I guess it could be even Thanksgiving, or just anything that sticks out to you?
Yeah, I think my favorite holiday memory was spending Hanukkah in Israel. I went on birthright. Usually people go in the summer, but I went in the winter because I figured out that Hanukkah was going to be going while I was there. And so I wanted to see what it was like to do Hanukkah in Israel, and it did not disappoint. It was so cool. They had like it's kind of like Christmas here. Like they had a bunch of colorful donuts in the shops and a giant menorah in the town square, and just like it felt very just like here with Christmas. It felt like there with Hanukkah. It was great.
That's incredible. And I honestly can't think of any better place to celebrate Hanukkah than in Israel during that season. I mean, that really would be a once in a lifetime sort of experience. I can only imagine.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's how I felt too. What about you, Lee? Do you have any favorite holiday memories?
I think that one of the favorite holiday memories that comes to mind, and this is more a tradition, is just going with my mom or my grandma to get the Christmas tree from a Christmas tree lot in Idaho. And it was snowy over there. So it really felt like a white Christmas. And we would go when we would pick out our Christmas tree. You'd go home, you'd smell that fresh pine scent, and then we would just decorate it together while we were listening to Christmas music. Sometimes my mom or my grandma would bake cookies. And it was just like a really special time as a family to ring in the Christmas season and to make it very festive. It's one of those memories that I'm always going to hold very dear to my heart. And now that my mom and grandma are both passed away, it's one of those things that's very special to me, and I'll always hang on to that.
That's really sweet. Yeah. And I see why you're such a big fan of the holidays too, because it probably, yeah, brings you back to that time, all the smells and everything. That's really cool.
And it's so interesting too, celebrating the holiday season in Los Angeles, where we currently live, versus in Idaho, where I grew up. because once again in Idaho you have the cold, you have the snow, so you see everyone in hats and mittens and with sleds and hot chocolate and fireplaces. And in LA, the weather is obviously a little bit different. So I'll be honest, it was kind of a little off putting to me when I moved to California and I would see like Santa Claus and like shorts under a tree ringing the Salvation Army bell or Christmas lights on palm trees and all of that. So it's definitely taken some getting used to, but I can really appreciate the different ways of celebration here. There's a lot of similarities, even though we don't have the cold weather like I did growing up.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I can definitely sympathize with that. We've been out to see my son Trace a few times during the holidays. And yeah, all the snow, it's definitely a way different vibe. Like, I really like it with all the snow, but it's also very hard to travel and all of that. But yeah, it's a very different vibe here. But I also think like LA, there are certain spots like the Grove, the Americana. I feel like that really gives you the Christmas sense because they have all the music going, all the giant tree. Disneyland also gives you that vibe a little bit.
Absolutely. And when you're out and about in those areas, it just makes you feel like you're a part of something bigger than yourself. And the holidays always feel like a very unifying time where people come together.
Yeah.
And I think that's a really beautiful thing.
Yeah, 100%. I agree.
Well, moving forward into thinking about holiday movies now, because our podcast is focused on film, let's go ahead and talk about some of our favorite holiday movies. And to start off with, I just want to let everyone know that these movies that we are talking about may be directly holiday themed, or they may just be movies that, for whatever reason, for family traditions or anything else, just put us in the holiday mood. So, Alex, I know that both you and I have selected five of our favorite holiday movies, and we're going to rank those. So, I'll start off with you. What's your number five spot for favorite holiday films?
So there aren't any good Hanukkah movies. I mean, there's Eight Crazy Nights, but I'm not a huge fan of that movie. The only one I would mention would be the Rugrats Hanukkah special, but that's only like a half hour, hour, 45 minutes, something like that. So it doesn't really count as a movie. So I didn't put it on this list also because I don't know that it has AD. Just wanted to mention that as an honorable mention. I really like the Rugrats Hanukkah special, but most of the movies on this list are sort of ones that Christmas movies that either broke through the mold of that I ended up watching and enjoying despite me not celebrating Christmas, or they include Hanukkah in some way, or like you said, have that vibe of just the holiday season in general. So my number five is Home Alone. I definitely grew up watching Home Alone 1 and 2, but I think Home Alone 1 is definitely one of my favorites. I haven't watched it in years, but when you think of holidays, I still think about Home Alone, and it does have AD on Disney Plus as well.
And another component about the audio description for Home Alone, specifically both one and two, is I feel like audio description for that movie is so important because there's so many visual gags.
Oh, I definitely agree. Yeah, it's a lot of physical humor in the AD. I haven't watched it with AD personally yet, but I would bet it plays a big part in your enjoyment of it.
I have watched it with AD once, and I was so glad that it actually had AD because for those people who are completely blind, or for people like us who have lost vision over the years, it still makes it a very enjoyable experience. And I'm so glad that they went back and described that film. And this is also a hot take for me, but I actually think that Home Alone 2 is better than Home Alone 1. And maybe that's just because I love New York, but I'll still stand by it.
Yeah, it's usually like you watch one, then you watch the other because they're both pretty good.
And also, the John Williams score feels very holiday as well, even though there's not necessarily any Christmas songs or holiday songs within that score. It just puts you in a very holiday mood.
Yeah, for sure. I also heard a cool story the other day that John Candy, he's in the first one, obviously, and his role, he was the lowest paid actor on the movie because he didn't want to take money for it. He took the SAG bare minimum, which came out to like $414 or something, and then he improved his whole monologue because he only has that one scene. And then Fox wrote him a check for 500 and in the memo, it said, "Keep the change, you filthy animal."
Huh. That's really interesting. I did not know that, but thanks for enlightening me about that.
This is from a TikTok. So if we can believe everything on the internet, that's true.
Fair point. Well, I guess it's my turn now, and I will go with my number five. And just when you thought that I wasn't going to talk about this movie anymore since a few years ago, here it does resurface, and that is The Holdovers. I think it's one of those movies that came out recently that I feel like very much fills in the vein of a Christmas classic, more of a modern one, obviously, but I don't really need to say much more about it. We both know how much I love this movie and raved about it when it was Oscar season a few years ago. But I still stand by it. It just puts me in the holiday mood and really well acted, really compelling story. And I find it moving every time I watch it.
Yeah, that's a great movie. I know I saw it at TIFF 2023, and I have not watched it since then. I've been meaning to revisit it.
Well, maybe this is the time to do it. And it does
It
have AD as well.
It very well might be the time to do it. I know another shout out. I'm working at the Holidays Made Here event at Warner Brothers Studio Tour this holiday season. I'm literally there for like 3 weeks. So, but if you want to come to the Gilmore Girls event at Warner Brothers, come visit me at the info booth over there. I don't know if I'll have time to watch the holdovers because I'm working like 14 out of the 18 days that they're open. But that's definitely one that I want to keep in mind and go revisit.
Yeah, you're going to have a very festive time over there. And yeah, I reiterate that if anyone is in the Los Angeles area and wants to come meet one of the co hosts of the Darkroom podcast, go to Warner Brothers to the Gilmore Girls display and say hi to Alex.
Yeah, it's gonna be super cool, especially if you're a Gilmore Girls fan. Like, they're gonna have so much stuff. It's like, I think they said they have like 47 things you can interact with and do there. It's crazy.
Yeah, that sounds like a lot of fun. So, what's your number four?
My number four is La La Land, which I know is not technically a Christmas movie, but I think it came out in December. I think it definitely gives those like comfy holiday vibes. And the only reason it's so low is because it's not really a holiday movie. So I kind of bumped it down a bit, but I was looking at what's showing at Rooftop Cinema Club this weekend, and one of the movies was La La Land, and I was like, oh, that makes sense. That's kind of has that vibe. So yeah, that's why I put it on here because I just got reminded of it actually.
That's awesome. And I love the fact that's on your list. I always associate La La Land with the holidays as well. I wouldn't necessarily classify it as a holiday film like you were saying, but I can understand why it sticks out to you because it did come out in December. And when it did come out, I remember seeing it multiple times during that holiday season. So it definitely sticks in my brain as a film that I engaged with very heavily during the holiday season. And it's a beautiful film. It's a masterpiece. I mean, there's nothing more to really say about it other than it's a spectacular film. And I look forward to the next re release of it, which could be coming up next year because it'll be the 10-year anniversary.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? La La Land came out 10 years ago. I love that movie. And like, God, I cry every time I watch that movie. I also watch it when I have an interview, a job interview. It really pumps me up and gives me confidence because Emma Stone's audition in the movie, I feel like it's kind of similar to doing a job interview in the entertainment industry. So I watch it for that too. But I cry every time I watch the movie. And I feel like this time of year, for some reason, you want to watch movies that make you cry, at least for me. So yeah, La La Land's definitely one for me.
And I believe that there is a scene in the movie that takes place around Christmas time.
I think so
Towards
too, yeah.
towards the beginning of the movie, I remember he's playing Jingle Bells or something at a he, meaning Ryan Gosling, is playing Jingle Bells at a restaurant or something like that.
Yeah, I think you're right. And funny enough, not to bring it back to Gilmore Girls about everything, but one of the sets that they used in Gilmore Girls that they're gonna be using during the event that I'm working was that coffee shop was on the Warner Brothers lot and they're using it for the Gilmore Girls thing this holiday season.
That's so cool.
So what's your number four, Lee?
My number four is a very classic movie that I used to think was super boring when I was younger, but It's a Wonderful Life with Jimmy Stewart from 1939. And it does have audio description from what I researched, although it's traveled from streaming service to streaming service. And the AD track is very inconsistent and doesn't always travel with it. So if you are looking for It's a Wonderful Life with AD, just be aware that it's really hit or miss, unfortunately, and such is the issue with a lot of movies that travel with without AD tracks. That being said, the movie itself is very thought provoking. It's a beautiful movie that really makes you reflect on your life, on who you are as a human being, and on what matters in life. So I really enjoy this movie. Have you seen it?
I have not seen it. This is one that I did not watch growing up. I should watch it because I heard my brother and my mom talking about it over Thanksgiving. I should watch it, but I know I want to watch it with AD, so.
Yeah, hopefully when you do watch it, wherever you find it, the AD track is still present there. And it's also a movie that I feel like you could watch anytime. I know that it traditionally is around the Christmas time when everyone talks about it and everyone watches it. But it's not just a holiday movie. I think that you could watch it any time of the year and it's just as relevant and can have just as much poignancy and entertainment value because it does take place around Christmas. But a lot of the movie is just going through this man's life.
Yeah, I think I've seen they did. What was the one with Ryan Reynolds? Was that a take on It's a Wonderful Life?
Spirited, the Apple TV movie.
Yes.
It's a take on A Christmas Carol, but I feel like A Christmas Carol and It's a Wonderful Life have very similar sort of themes, and they kind of hit at the same point as well. Which this is not in my top five favorite list, but Spirited is a fun movie as well. I had a good time with that movie.
Yeah, that's a very fun movie. I agree.
And the songs are catchy. I know that's a subjective opinion because some people really don't love the songs at all, but I had a good time with it.
Yeah, I'll have to check out It's a Wonderful Life.
Now, what's your number three?
This is another one that broke through from my childhood. The Will Ferrell comedy of it all, I think, kind of made it for everyone, not just a Christmas movie. And I actually own this on 4K with audio description. So that's another reason why it's on the list. I haven't watched it yet with AD.
Elf is such a classic movie, and it's one of those more modern holiday films that really made the cut. Because with all the new movies coming out in the last, I don't know, 25 years or so, it's really rare when a holiday movie can cement itself in the canon of movies that people will consider classic holiday films that are essential viewing every season. And I feel like Elf really stands out in that regard. And to your point, it's just a really fun movie as well. Very festive, very enjoyable. The comedy in it's great, and I feel like Will Ferrell was at the height of his comedic chops at that point in time, so it really lands so nicely.
I totally agree. And I quote it way too much during the holiday season. Like whenever I see Santa, I'm like, Santa, I know him. It's just like, it's so quotable and so good.
100%. And there's always that line, good luck, buddy. Hope you find your father, or hope you find your dad. That's always a very quotable line as well.
Yeah. So Lee, what is your number three?
My number three is probably the most unconventional film on this list. It is still definitely a holiday film. It's called Mrs. Santa Claus with Angela Lansbury from the voice of Mrs. Potts in Beauty and the Beast and the show Murder, She Wrote, among many other things. She's a legend. Unfortunately, she's passed away. But this is a movie about the wife of Santa Claus, Mrs. Claus, and it was a Hallmark Hall of Fame TV movie that was broadcast on CBS in the 1990s. And I just find this film so delightful. Most people don't even know it exists because it was a made for TV movie and it's a Hallmark movie. And that's not everyone's cup of tea. What I really liked about it, though, is that it was written by one of my favorite Broadway composers, Jerry Herman, who also wrote shows like Hello Dolly. So the music's really catchy, the production numbers are really fun, and it really feels like a stage musical. And I think that it should be brought to the stage. Unfortunately, it doesn't have AD right now, and I wish it did. But in general, Hallmark movies are very hit or miss with AD. There are some I know on Prime Video, and I believe Peacock, or at one point in time, Peacock had some Hallmark movies with AD, but it's very out of the ordinary, I guess, for Hallmark movies to get AD. Still, I would recommend it if you like musicals. It's not going to be a movie for everyone, but it's been a classic for me ever since I first watched it when I was younger, and I watch it every year now.
That's so interesting. I had never heard of this movie. So yeah, thanks for putting it on our radar.
Yeah, well, at least you know that it exists now. And for those listeners out there, you also know that it exists. So check it out if the mood hits you. It's a very rewarding experience, I can assure you.
Is it streaming anywhere?
I believe it's streaming on Hallmark Plus, and you can also rent it on Apple or Amazon. All right, looks like we are to number two for you, Alex. And what do we have here?
So my number two is actually one I've recently discovered, like in the last 5 years or so. It's Gremlins, and I think pretty obvious why I like Gremlins because it's kind of horror holiday adjacent, and I love the cuteness of Gremlins, and then also like the horror element. It's just so my kind of movie, just like the kid meets creature thing. I love that kind of stuff. So yeah, Gremlins is my number two. It just recently got AD on Prime Video. I don't think that's been there forever because it used to, I didn't think it used to have AD at all. And it might also have AD when it comes on Netflix, but I don't think it's there right now. So yeah, definitely recommend Gremlins if you haven't seen it. It's awesome.
I was just talking to a friend about this movie, and I've seen it once quite a while ago. I remember thinking it was interesting, entertaining, but also a little too weird for my taste. I can totally see why it's a movie that you would like and resonate with, and I'm willing to give it another chance at some point in time because I didn't dislike it. It's just a movie that didn't necessarily stick with me in the same way that it sticks with you. But I'm glad to see it's on your list because I'm very much a fan of those unconventional movies that can break the mold when we think about holiday films. And Gremlins definitely fits that mold very well.
Oh, for sure. And it has that kind of, because I think it's Chris Columbus, right?
Yeah, it is.
It has that kind of like, early Harry Potter feel, just that vibe that Chris Columbus brings to his movies.
Also, speaking of Chris Columbus and Harry Potter, I think that Harry Potter also feels very holiday to me. It's not on my list of top five favorite holiday films, but Harry Potter, the franchise, is one of those things that always feels very right for October, November, and December because there's elements that could be for Halloween, there's elements that could be there for the Christmas season, and it just feels very warm and cozy, I guess.
Oh, I agree. Yeah, it's not on mine either. I know. I thought maybe we'd get to number two and you'd be like the whole Harry Potter franchise. But yeah, I agree with you. They're great holiday movies. And actually I did my training at Warner Brothers last week and we were in like the Starbucks where the gift shop is. And they're playing Warner Brothers holiday music. And one of the songs that they'd go to is the Yule Ball song from the fourth movie. And I was like, oh, I mean, I guess this is a holiday song. But yeah, and Harry Potter definitely gives holiday vibes as well.
And I could see how Gremlins would be a precursor to a world like Harry Potter as well.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. So what is your number two, Lee?
My number two is The Muppet Christmas Carol, which once again is for people that like the Muppets, I would say. Although, if you don't like the Muppets, I think it's very enjoyable as well. I actually feel like the script for this movie is quite witty, and every time I watch it, the humor always lands. The jokes never get old, even though I watch it every year. And it's Kermit the Frog, Miss Piggy, Gonzo, all of the Muppet characters retelling the story of A Christmas Carol with Michael Caine, one of the great actors of our time in this movie, too. And he does a fantastic job. It's so interesting, too, because all the Muppet characters are pretty goofy and a little off the wall, but Michael Caine plays it very straight laced and he does it very seriously and commits to it like any other film that he would commit to. So I think that dichotomy of this serious Scrooge character with the comedic timing and antics of the Muppets really works well and just makes for such a joyful and delightful experience. It does have AD as well on Disney Plus, and I have watched it with AD, and I think that there's little nuanced things that the Muppets do that I didn't pick up on before when I was watching it with AD. So I appreciated the fact that it could make it fresh in a way for me too.
That's awesome. And yeah, I have not seen this either, so I might have to check this out.
Yeah, did you grow up with the Muppets at all?
I did, like Muppets Treasure Island and the Peanuts as well. I mean, the Peanuts are kind of, in the same boat as the Muppets with the holiday stuff as well.
100%. And A Charlie Brown Christmas is not on my list, but it is one of those movies that's always enjoyable to watch at the holiday season. I mean, it's a TV special, kind of like the Rugrats, so it's only a half hour. So I guess that's why I left it off this list.
Yeah. And I think
Uh,
those are also on Apple TV Plus with AD too, the Peanuts ones.
they are. And I think there might be some other Peanuts holiday specials as well. I haven't watched all of them, but I do know they exist. All right, so now we are to the number one. And what's the number one holiday film for you?
So I want to mention one that it's not at my number one, but if it counts as a holiday movie, it would definitely be there. It would be The Shining. I kind of just thought of this, like it has holiday vibes, you could say, because of the thing in the maze and the ice and the snow and the winter. So it kind of has holiday vibes, but people don't really refer to it as a holiday movie. So it's not on my list, but if you count it, it would be my number one. So my actual number one,
I totally support that. And I think that The Shining is a brilliant movie. And I know that we talked about it recently on our Stephen King episode, but I totally see where you're coming from with that having the vibes that could fit for the holiday season for you.
and it's funny because I wouldn't have thought of it as a holiday movie, but there's a certain animated movie that's out in theaters right now that I don't want to spoil that directly references The Shining, and I was like, oh my God. And it kind of made me think of the holidays. So my number one is The Night Before with Seth Rogen, Anthony Mackie, and Joseph Gordon-Levitt. I love this movie. I know it's not the best movie in the world. It's not gonna win any Oscars, but I just think it's totally my like raunchy comedy vibe, but also it's very inclusive and like, Seth Rogen celebrating Hanukkah and they mention Hanukkah several times and then, he opens a Hanukkah present and it's weed or something. And then, so kind of it's very inclusive in all the holidays, but it's also very funny and it does have that heartwarming charm to it as well. So that's my number one movie.
I love that. And surprisingly, I've never seen that film before. I love the cast. I think they all do comedy really well. And it's one of those I need to check out. Do you know if it has audio description?
I think it does. I couldn't tell you where, but I'm assuming wherever you can watch it, it should have it because it didn't come out that long ago. I think it came out just before COVID. So I know it does have AD.
And to go back to something else you mentioned, that this movie is very inclusive of all holidays. I really like that. And I wish there were more movies that celebrated Hanukkah or had Hanukkah at the center of them. Because since I don't celebrate it, it's not a holiday that I'm as familiar with, even though I've learned through the years from people like you and others who do celebrate it. But I would love to see just as many movies about Hanukkah as Christmas, just to make it more inclusive, and also just to introduce people to new perspectives from things that maybe they're not as familiar with, too.
Yeah, and I think the night before really does it the right way, where like it's not just Hanukkah. I would say Christmas is still the center of it, but it definitely doesn't ignore it. And I think that's the way to go with holiday movies, you kind of include everyone. Yeah, I think I would love to watch this with you sometime. I have it in my collection with AD, so yeah, that'd be fun.
Nice, let's do it.
So what's your number one, Lee? And I'm very curious about what it is because I know you love Christmas, but I have no clue what your number one's going to be.
So, my number one favorite holiday film is Dr. Seuss's How the Grinch Stole Christmas, the 2000 version with Jim Carrey, directed by Ron Howard. I think the production design on the movie is spectacular. I think Jim Carrey's performance is absolutely hysterical and just totally unhinged in the best way possible. It's such a quotable movie. I quote it all the time. I could watch this movie year round and never get tired of it. And actually, when the movie first came out, I watched it in theaters twice in one day because two different groups of friends wanted to go see it. And I was like, okay, let's give it a go. And I thought I was going to be bored with it the second time around because it had only been like 5 hours, but it was thoroughly enjoyable just as much as the first time that I'd seen it. And I'm really excited that they're re releasing it in theaters this week. I'm definitely going to go catch it on the big screen again. It's been a while since I've seen it in that format. So, really excited. They also do have AD for it. I believe it's on Peacock right now. And the AD really does add a lot to the comedic gags. There's a lot of visual gags that go on in that movie. And there's a lot of really cool production design that I think the audio description does a great job of describing. And even the costumes and the details of the costumes really add a lot to the whole overall experience of the movie.
That's so great. It has been years since I've seen this movie. So I would actually really love to rewatch this as well. I would go see it in the theaters this week, but I know they are also re-releasing The Shining. So I will be prioritizing The Shining. But if I have time, I would love to catch How the Grinch Stole Christmas as well. And if not, I can always catch on Peacock with AD. But that's really cool because I know Jim Carrey has a lot of usually his movies there's a lot of visual, comedy, physical comedy. And Jim Carrey has such crazy emotive expressions and stuff like that. So I'm assuming the AD does a great job of dealing with all of that.
Absolutely. And kind of the reverse of what you just said, that The Shining is being released in theaters as well. So I will prioritize The Grinch, but if I have time to get to The Shining, I will also do that as well.
Yeah, I think you should definitely prioritize Grinch. I would advise that to everyone else too.
Yeah, it's a great theatrical experience. And if you haven't seen it in theaters, it's very highly recommended to have that experience at some point in time in your life. Let's kind of shift over to what I would like to call our holiday wish list. So every year, people always have their holiday wish list of things they want for Christmas or Hanukkah. So for us, I thought it would be fun to talk about our holiday wish list for film and accessibility, whether it's specific movies that you want audio described that don't have description right now, or just other things in terms of accessibility that you'd like to see this coming year that could be considered gifts to us in the blind and low vision community. With that in mind, what are your thoughts on what you would want on your holiday wish list for film and accessibility?
So before I get into ones that I wish had AD, I think a big one for me just got audio description. Kill Bill, The Whole Bloody Affair, a 4.5 hour combination of Kill Bill Volume 1 and Kill Bill Volume 2, the way Tarantino intended, somehow got described by Lionsgate and has awesome AD from Laura Post and Nicole Zanzarella. And it's just like the dream team did outstanding AD for that. So last weekend I went to the theater for 4.5 hours and watched Kill Bill. It was so cool with AD. So that was a big one off my wish list. I know that wasn't a holiday movie. But for me, I'd say the big ones, holiday wise, I have three: Die Hard, Krampus, and the original Black Christmas. All of those don't have AD. Two of those are horror. So many of my friends love Krampus, and I'm like, I've seen it maybe 4 or 5 times, and I just feel like I get lost in the second half because there's so much going on and there's no description. I've never seen Black Christmas. I know it's a classic. I think it's an 80s Christmas horror movie. Never seen it because it doesn't have AD. I know the remake does, but everyone hates the remake, so I never watched that one either. And Die Hard is obviously like, I mean, I've seen it, but it's one of the higher regarded Christmas movies. It would have been on my list, but I haven't rewatched it because it doesn't have AD. And I feel like it would be great if that one got it too. And I know Disney has Die Hard right now because it's a Fox movie. So that'd be awesome if they would describe that.
Nice. Those are all really good choices. And I've seen two of those three movies. I haven't seen Black Christmas, but Krampus and Die Hard I've seen. And I would love for Die Hard to have AD because there's a lot of action in it. And I think that the AD would really enhance the experience, especially as my vision has changed over time. It's not the same experience that it was when I was younger, and AD would really help that.
Oh yeah, for sure, I bet. And that's kind of another reason why I haven't rewatched it because I know my vision's gotten worse too, and I'm like, I don't know if I'd enjoy it as much. But what are some of the ones on your wish list?
So the only other holiday movie on my wish list is this 1950s movie called Shop Around the Corner, which is what the movie You've Got Mail with Meg Ryan and Tom Hanks was based on. And it's just a nice little holiday rom-com that I would love to see have AD. In black and white. It's on HBO Max right now. Really lovely and heartwarming little film, but I would love to see some of those older holiday films that are in black and white. Like that film, there's a movie called The Bishop's Wife. I would love to see some of those films get AD. I think that would just make everything better and more accessible for everyone to fully be able to enjoy them and partake in conversations from people who do like those movies. Beyond that, though, I will say that what I would also put on my holiday wish list is all the international films from this year's potential Oscars that we have not been able to see, such as Sentimental Value. And what's the other one? It was Only an Accident. What's that one called?
It was just an accident. There's also No Other Choice. There's also The Secret Agent. All of those might get nominated for Best Picture, and none of them have AD.
Yeah. So if I could have any holiday gift from the film industry, it would be to have all of those films audio described, as well as past films that I haven't seen, like Parasite or Roma as well.
Yeah, isn't that crazy that we might be living in a world this year where we only see 6 out of the 10 Best Picture nominees because four of them don't have audio description?
Yeah, it's so frustrating. And I think that the thing is, it's not so much that I'm angry about it. I'm just sad that I can't see those movies because I really want to.
Oh, that's awesome that you're not angry about it because I am. But no, I feel you. Yeah. I think it's all neon too, which I don't have a problem calling them out if they're not doing it. But yeah, I agree. I would love that too for all of those to be described this holiday season. That would be amazing. And I think that for SAG awards, you have to audio describe them. But then the question is, okay, does that track make it to the public, or is that just for SAG voting members? Who knows?
And if that track does make it to the public, will it make it to the public before awards season is over, or will it be when they drop on streaming and then we might be able to see them?
Yeah, exactly. I would be remiss if when you said you've got mail, I remembered how Harry Met Sally. That is one of my, I would say that is my favorite rom-com of all time, and I always forget that that is a New Year's Eve movie, and technically it's a holiday movie. So that I don't know why that wasn't on my list. I totally blanked on it, but I absolutely love When Harry Met Sally.
Yeah, it's a wonderful film, and Billy Crystal and Meg Ryan are fantastic in that as well. One of the best rom coms of the canon, I would say.
Oh, definitely.
Now, are there any other film or accessibility wishes that you would have, whether it's for this holiday season or things that you hope for next year that you would put on your wish list?
Ooh, for next year, what's the big one I always say? Oh, I mean, I guess if I could pick one re-release that I've always wanted AD on the Fly. I know I bring that up every time we talk about this, but I want the Fly, David Cronenberg, to get a great audio description track. I think that'd be the one that I always bring up. Dear Santa, give me the Fly with AD.
Yeah, that would be great. I think for me, one of the things that I would wish for next year, if I could put something on my holiday list right now for the future, would be to get us to the point where audio description tracks always travel with the movies on whatever streaming platform they're going to. I realize that's very idealistic in my wishing, but nonetheless, because it's a holiday wish list, that's what I would wish for next year.
No, 100%. And when you were asking me what my wish list was, I was going through like, oh, Alien, that had AD. I saw it in theaters, but it's not anywhere. Back to the Future, it had AD. I saw it in theaters, but it's not anywhere. It's like, yeah, if those tracks, like the Back to the Future track, could get on the Blu-ray or the Alien track, just get on Hulu, that would be great. Because those are two outstanding audio description tracks, and you can't really find them. Back to the Future might be on Peacock, I'm not sure. At least for Alien, it's nowhere to be found.
Just to have that certainty that no matter where we were watching a movie, we would have AD, that would be the dream right there.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Well, this has been great. Before we wrap up, do you have any other thoughts on the holiday season or anything that you'd like to add?
No, I mean, I just like to say Happy Hanukkah, everyone. I think this episode's going to drop during Hanukkah. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. I'd also like to say that I am going to Sundance this year for shockingly the third year in a row. I don't know how this happened. I 4 or 5 years ago, I'd be like, I would love to go to Sundance, and now this is my third year. It's crazy. So yeah, I'm going to volunteer at Sundance. I'll be gone January 20th to February 2nd, so like just over 2 weeks. And I'm so excited because the last 2 years I saw at least one of my top 10 of that year's movies in January. So I'm hoping this year I'll get to one or two of my top tens as well, and it'll last me through the whole year. So yeah, I'm super stoked, and we will try and pre-record some stuff to put out while I'm gone. And we'll do an episode about it when I get back too.
Yeah, we will definitely be covering your experience, the slate of movies that you watched over there, and other things that the listeners out there can look forward to is the Oscars Audio Description Roundtable, the Blind Critics Film Society nominations and awards that will be coming up. And then me and Alex are going to be doing our most anticipated list coming up very soon, as well as the top 10 movies of 2025, which will be early next year. So there's a lot of good things that we have planned coming up. But in the meantime, however you're choosing to celebrate the holidays, I reiterate what Alex said. Happy Hanukkah, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. And I hope that this is a very special and memorable time with you and your loved ones. We are so appreciative of all of you and wish you nothing but the very best and every happiness this holiday season. And if you want to reach out to us, you can always do that at darkroomfilmcast@gmail.com. That's our email, darkroomfilmcast@gmail.com. And you can follow us on Instagram at darkroomfilmcast and subscribe to our YouTube channel at darkroomfilmcast.
And thank you to All Senses Go for making captions on our episodes possible. We like to, we preach inclusion. We like to actually practice what we preach and make it so that deaf people can enjoy our podcast as well. And we'd like to thank Blind Can as well for helping out with editing.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for listening. Once again, happy holidays, and we'll see you back here next time on The Dark Room.
Yeah, stay safe and take care, guys.